Welcome to our third spiritual health training. Today I'm going to be talking about a practice that I think a lot of people have talked about, and a lot of people, maybe spiritual texts or spiritual leaders, have advocated for, and it's because it's a very valuable thing. It's also something that's easy, that doesn't need to take a lot of time, and can be very, very beneficial. So this is actually inspired by a book called The Prayer of Jabez. And this is a book that talks about, it's like a very short book, and it talks about how Jabez was a man in the Bible that prayed every day for his land to expand, basically, to basically receive more material things. And he was, so this is kind of a offshoot of that. There's also some other inspiration from other stories and other texts, but essentially the concept is to set a prayer that is first and foremost a prayer of gratitude. So being grateful for what you have, really acknowledging everything that you have. And then secondly, asking for more. So I've been really playing with this concept, and I think it's a very powerful spiritual concept of feeling satisfied and full, and yet allowing yourself to want more. I think oftentimes we can, if we're being spiritual, we can see ourselves as needing to be grateful and needing to experience gratitude, but not like it not being spiritual to then want more. Like you need to just be happy with what you have and just be content. And actually, I don't believe that's necessarily what spirituality means. I believe that we can actually be in a place of feeling fulfilled, feeling grateful, feeling super happy for our life. And it is our human nature to want more, to continue to grow. I use this example a lot. We see trees in nature are fully alive, fully growing, flourishing. Their leaves are full, they're bearing fruit, whatever. And they don't say like, okay, like, I've gotten further enough. Now it's time for me to stop growing. No, trees continue to grow for their entire life. And most plants do. We can see this in nature. They're physically growing. So we may not be physically growing, but as far as like what we're responsible for, our capacity to deal with emotions, our capacity to receive, our abundance can grow. Like there's so many ways that we can grow by learning more, by becoming more fit, becoming more athletic, becoming more rich, whatever it is. And it doesn't need to stop. I think we live in a society where it's kind of like you get to a certain point, you kind of like should plateau, or we see this a lot, like a lot of people plateauing. But I want you to know that you can continue to grow. And I know there's a lot of examples of people who throughout their life lived into their 70s, 80s, 90s, and continue to grow, continue to have a positive impact, continue to do things in the world, continue to make more money, continue to enjoy their life on a greater capacity. And, we've kind of, with different things like settling down or retirement or these different phrases that we use that imply that when you get to a certain point, you kind of just stop growing. You just kind of like get into your comfort zone. So I want to invite you to see a spiritual practice as a practice that invites you to get out of your comfort zone and invites you to keep growing and keep expanding. This is my life's work. This is my dharma. My goal is to always be growing and expanding and becoming a better version of myself, not in a hustling, pushing, achieving way, but in an inner beauty way, in a way where internally I am expanding to be able to experience more, to be able to share more, to be able to be more of my true authentic self, be able to clear more of the patterns and allow my true essence to shine through. And I believe this is done through spiritual practices such as this, where you get to acknowledge what you are grateful for, but you also get to ask for more. And so literally asking for it, literally stating your desires and what you're longing for. And then the third step, so first is the gratitude, second is asking, and then the third is complete surrender, like we've been talking about in some of the earlier videos. Surrendering, trusting that the universe has got your back, trusting that God will answer your prayer in whatever way is best for you. And trusting that you don't have to figure it out. You don't need to know how you're going to get more money, how you're going to learn more things or grow your reach or your community or whatever it is that you want to grow your garden, that you will be divinely guided and that you don't have to worry and you don't have to stress and you don't have to figure it out. So if you are not part of Own Your Value and you want to be part of a community accountability experience where you get basically a group that is working on building new habits and implementing new habits, and you're not part of that community, you can go to kateinparadise.com/value to find out all about it and to join us in this space the next time we're doing an accountability challenge. And what I want to share with those of you that are already part of Own Your Value is that you can choose whatever spiritual practice that aligns with you and your beliefs, and you can choose to practice it in a way that feels authentic and true to you. But what I want to invite you all to do is to whatever practice you're choosing, to hold this energy of being full, being satisfied with where you're at. You don't need to fix anything. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't have any problems that you need to solve. Being able to hold that vibration of deep gratitude while acknowledging that you do desire more, and while completely surrendering and letting go of how you're going to get more. You don't need to figure that out. That's actually not your job. That's actually the job of the universe. We are divinely supported and we don't have to actually figure it out. But what we are invited to do, our role is to interact with this energy and to be present with the desire, to be present with the gratitude, to be consciously showing up and doing exactly what we're doing in Own Your Value, taking aligned action. If you are taking aligned action, the universe can meet you where you're at. If you're sitting still, doing nothing, not being aware of how you can grow and expand, it is going to be really hard to experience that growth in your life that you are craving. So I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you. I love you so much. This is Kate in Paradise, and I see you shining.